All right, welcome into the FNIA podcast. As always, we are presented by Lowe's. You know Tony Dungy, Rodney Harrison, Jac Collinsworth. Fellas, let's go to a topic that seems to always come up. And sometimes you don't know where it comes from. You don't know when it's going to come. You don't know how it's going to come. But it seems to always come up. And it's with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we're talking about Mike Tomlin's future. And let's start with the Ben Roethlisberger quote, because I feel like having a legend like that say something, maybe that gives it a little different context. And he said, maybe it's time to clean house. Maybe it's time. And I like Coach Tomlin. I have a lot of respect for Coach Tomlin, but maybe it's best for him too. That was on his Football and podcast. Coach Dungy, how do you hear it? Your reaction to this whole situation?
Yeah, I've lived in Pittsburgh for 10 years. I was around Steeler football, so I know how the fans are. This time of year, everybody gets upset. Their feelings come out. I saw Ben's quotes. I saw James Harrison with kind of the same thing. And you see these players saying, man, what's going on? We're just not seeing Steeler football. I'm a former Steeler. I'm saying the same thing. I'm not seeing Steeler football. But I also know that you can't just, jump ship and get rid of the coach and think everything's going to turn out fine. I went through this in the past. I saw Chuck Noll after winning 4 Super Bowls when I was an assistant coach there, and people saying the game's passing by. We need to get rid of him. Bill Cowher, same way, a couple of years out of the playoffs. Oh, we need to get rid of him. Just relax, people. Let the season play out. Let's see what the Steelers do these last 5 games before we decide to get rid of the coach.
I don't know, Coach. I see it a little differently. I mean, we've covered Mike Tomlin for a long time, and maybe he needs a fresh start. Maybe it doesn't sound so unreasonable. And I think, one fit could be the New York Giants, could be a perfect fit for him, because I think, he's a guy that can really handle the media. He has a young quarterback, and we saw the impact of Sean Payton and the young quarterback, Bo Nix, impacting him and rejuvenating him. And defensively, I think the Giants have a lot of good pieces that he could build on. I think Tomlin makes this a borderline playoff team. If I'm the Giants, I'm aggressively going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, seeing if I could trade for Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I could see that definitely. But I have to put myself in Art Rooney the second with his situation. Okay, I get rid of Mike Tomlin. I let him go. Let's start fresh. Who do I get? I've got to make sure I get somebody better than Tomlin. And that's not necessarily easy.
I think the biggest problem, Jack, is he just doesn't have a quarterback. I mean, and that's the biggest thing. We know that he can fix a defense. He can build a defense. DK Metcalf, he hasn't looked like a number 1 receiver, but they need a young quarterback that'll come in, that'll spark the entire team, that'll give that it'll give that organization like much needed juice. They just need something a little different.
Yeah. And right now, there's not an identity on the offense or the defense. And, that comes from your staff and everybody else. Mike is a good coach. He's going to continue to be a good coach. But right now, I kind of agree with the old veteran guys. I'm not seeing Steeler football. They've got a month to get back to that.
Yeah. Let's start with this. I mean, it's been amazing. Rodney, to your point, Big Ben retired in 2021, right? So they haven't really had that level of quarterback play since. And even at the end of his career, it was teetering a little bit prior to his retirement. They've tried to draft guys. Now they've kind of gone the old way. Let's bring in a vet. Let's bring in Aaron Rodgers and see if we can get some final miles out of this. And they are 6-6. They're getting ready for Baltimore, who's also 6-6. And they're playing right now for the division lead. It's amazing when you think about, since Big Ben retiring, they have not had a losing season. Mike Tomlin has not had a losing season. He's had a couple 10-win seasons without that quarterback. And here they are again for first place in the AFC North, Coach. So going into this game, your confidence level that they can go beat Baltimore and make some noise down the home stretch is what?
Well, they've beaten Baltimore in the past, and so I feel good about that. My problem is what I saw last week, and James Cook just running duo right up the gut for 200 yards. Now, if Baltimore can do the same thing with Derrick Henry, if they can be patient and say, okay, we're going to test this run defense and see if they can hold up, that could be a problem. But will Baltimore be patient enough? And that's what I don't know. I think Pittsburgh can win this game, and if they do, that'll silence all the critics for at least one more week.
Right, at least 1 week. But Baltimore definitely has to run the ball. You see Lamar struggling in the passing game, and Derrick Henry, it's not like he's been overused this year. I mean, he's not putting up a lot of big numbers, but he's still having a really good year. And to me, I would come in the game knowing that I'm going to run Derrick Henry at least 30 times. I'll rotate him with those other running backs, and Lamar would be a big part of the run game in those RPO actions. So my mindset is I'm kind of thinking of the old Ravens, the big bullies coming in, running the ball down their throat, and Derrick Henry getting it going.
That's how it should be. And then on the other side of the ball, I think somehow they've got to get Aaron Rodgers back under center. If he can't take snaps and they've got to be in shotgun the whole time, they're not going to be successful. This defense, you've got to get under center, test them with the run game, play action off it. You can't sit in shotgun the whole game against these guys.
Coach, and I was thinking also too, if I'm coaching them, I'm actually going to rotate Mason Rudolph a few series, give him an opportunity, because you just don't know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers and the thumb. So I'm actually rotating both quarterbacks just to give me a little bit more depth.
You agree with that, Coach? How would you manage these quarterbacks here?
Well, to me, the first thing is, Aaron, if you can't take snaps, we've got to play Mason Rudolph. You've got to be able to be under center. And then I'm going to part-time have my big lineup in there. I'm going to have my big offensive tackle next to that 320-pound tight end, and we're going to pound the ball. And then when they have to load the line of scrimmage, then I'm going to go play action, take some shots to DK one-on-one up the field, get some deep balls in it, pound the ball, get the deep shot.
Okay, we'll see, because these two teams are going to play again Week 18 in Pittsburgh. So it's going to be an interesting back part of this schedule for the AFC North. Baltimore, they've lost one in a row. That was to Cincy on Thanksgiving. Steelers have now lost 2 in a row at Chicago and then against Buffalo. So that's where they are coming in. Go ahead, Rod.
The one point I want to make too is you look at DK Metcalf. I mean, he's really been kind of average. He hasn't been great. I mean, he hasn't had a 100-yard game in over 2 months, Jack. It's been like 9 weeks. And it's just crazy, man, the type of money that they're paying the guy, and they're just getting limited production from him.
Is that on him, or is that on the offense as a whole? Is that on the quarterback? Like, where do you place that?
I think it's on everybody. I think it starts with the offensive coordinator. I think it's a lack of talent. They don't have a second and a number 2 wide receiver, so all the attention goes to DK Metcalf. And I just think it's the nature of the offense.
Yeah, they've got to get him going. And to me, it's got to be some deep shots. You're not going to win with just throwing slants and hitches and move the ball down the field. You got to get some deep shots. And I will say this, Jack. I know they're playing in that final week. I think whoever wins this game is going to win the division. I think the division is on the line right now.
Hey, Coach, who you picking? I'm picking Baltimore. I think Rodgers is an older quarterback. He's going to be very limited in the passing game. And once again, only one wide receiver weapon. It's hard to win games like that against a Baltimore team that I think the defense is going to play a lot better. Who you think wins?
I'm going to my roots. I say they pull it out. They hear all this noise about firing their coach. The Steelers are gonna get it going.
Yeah.
Wow. You think the Steelers are going to go in there and upset them? So give me the picture of what that looks like, Coach. Is that a Rodgers game? Is that a run game? Like what does a Steelers game look like in Baltimore?
It looks like harassing Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
He's not quite as fast, not quite as nifty now that he's hurt. Get those edge guys around him. And if Baltimore doesn't pound it and run the ball, they're going to have a tough day. Whoever gets their run game going is going to win it, and hopefully the Steelers will do that. Yeah,
the Pittsburgh pass rushers, you got to fear them. If Lamar gets back and he starts dropping back, trying to throw the ball 30 or 40 times, and just their speed on defense. I'm running the football like you talked about.
Yep.
Coach.
Yeah. Coach, last question on this Mike Tomlin deal, because I've heard Rex Ryan, I've heard others say, once you get to year 10 or whatever, the message starts to get lost or whatever. There's not that many players in the NFL that are around for 10 years. So when you hear like that, is there any adjusting to the message when you're there that long? Is there anything to that?
No, it's not the message. It's the players, and you guys have hit on it, the quarterback and the offensive system. You've got to score some points. I don't think there's anything wrong with the message. If they get quarterback play, they're going to be in good shape.
Hey, you give Mike Tomlin Drake May on that team, a young stud quarterback, and see what happens. Then all of a sudden they're talking about Coach Mike Tomlin is going to be Coach of the Year.
It's amazing. In this league, you either have one of those guys.
That's it.
All right, let's get down to Indy and Jacksonville. Two teams that kind of have maybe one of those in-between guys trying to figure it out. Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence. They're both 8-4. Both teams 2-1 in the division. First meeting between these two. They're going to play again in Indy in Week 17. Rodney, I'll start with you here. How do you see this matchup?
Yeah, last week, Daniel Jones, he struggled moving around in the pocket versus the Texans, and now he's going to be facing two really excellent pass rushers, Jack and Josh Allen Hines and Travon Walker. So to me, that concerns me, Coach, because I saw Daniel, and I give him all the props in the world with his toughness and what he's going through, but he's just not the same quarterback with his inability to move in the pocket, Coach.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Shane Steichen, the Colts head coach in this one. Shane likes to come out and throw the ball early, get the lead, get people loosened up, and then run Jonathan Taylor. I don't think you can take that approach this week. You got to come in and say, we're going to establish the run. You got to stop Jonathan, and then I can throw the ball. And that's what they're going to have to do. Now, this is a tough run defense to do that against, but to me, that would be the mentality I'd be selling all week. We're going to run Taylor. They can't stop him. Offensive line, you guys have to win the game.
Just took the words out of my mouth, Coach. Leaning on that offensive line, which has been so good all year. And when they have success running the football, you see those offensive linemen 20 and 30 yards down the field, hustling, high-fiving Quentin Nelson. That's what you do. Don't wait to the second half. I have in my notes, Coach. Coach Dungy always says Shane Steichen waits to the second half, to run the football. And I agree with you, Coach. Run the football, establish that line of scrimmage, and get those offensive linemen going.
And then on the other side of the ball, Lou Anarumo, we're all big fans of his. He's got to come up with a game plan to dial up some pressures and get Trevor Lawrence off his spot and force some misplays. If Lawrence has a clean game, Jacksonville's probably going to win it. He's got to try to force him into some mistakes.
Yeah, we got to show the Jags a little bit of respect too, man. Their offensive line has been a lot better, and then they got some talent. They got some talent at wide receiver. You talk about Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington, Brian Thomas. He's had a bunch of drops, but he's still a really capable player, and I like the way they running the ball with Travis Etienne, Coach.
Yeah, no, they are making plays on offense, and if I'm a defensive coordinator looking at this Jacksonville offense, I'm not going to just stop them. I'm not going to be able to shut them down. I've got to force some misplays, some turnovers. That's how we're going to win the game.
Yep. Jacksonville's won 3 in a row. They've been a little roller coaster like throughout the year, or really throughout the last few years, but they've won 3 in a row coming into this game. While Indy, they've lost 2 in a row. Good teams, granted, Houston and Kansas City, but they've also lost 3 out of their last 4. The only win was that overtime win against Atlanta. So, Coach, what is it with Indy? They were one of the hottest teams in football, not so much coming into this game right now.
Yeah, they were playing tremendous offense, getting the lead and putting up points. And the offense hasn't been as dominant the last month. Yep. And the other thing is mentally, they have a block going into Jacksonville. They've lost 10 in a row in Jacksonville. So they've got to overcome that. And to me, the way you overcome that is say, you know what, we're going to be the bullies. We're going to run the ball. Offensive line, I got to lean on.
A guy that he's taking a lot of shots is Trevor Lawrence, because people are always criticizing him, including me. But I don't think he's been great, but I think he's making the right plays in the right moments and really trusting the talent around him and running the football. He's got some weapons in the passing game and just really leaning on that defense. They're playing him the right way.
Okay. Let's pop over to the NFC for a brief second here. Chicago at There is so many good matchups this week and just key playoff implications within these matchups. 9-3 versus 8-3-1. Remember, we still have the tie that we're dealing with as a result of the Sunday night football game. Just a reminder for everybody. I know you two remember against the Cowboys in Dallas. So that's why they're 8-3-1. The Bears have now won 5 in a row. The Bears come into this game 9-3. As you guys know, top seed in the NFC. It's the first time since 2006, a year that they went to the Super Bowl. Coach Dungy, you remember it well. Top of mind going into this matchup for you is what? It is tight in that division right now.
It is, and this is going to be a mental game as well. These teams know each other very well. They don't like each other. It's going to be cold. It's going to be tough. It's going to be physical. Who takes care of the football? Chicago is leading the league in takeaways. Green Bay is not turning the ball over. And that, to me, is going to be the key to the game. Caleb Williams has been up and down. He's had some great throws, some bad throws. But this is going to be, can Green Bay's offense take care of the ball, move it, and not turn the ball over?
Coach, you talked about this game being mental. And to me, the Bears' confidence is really high going into Lambeau Field. And, the players have talked about the reason why their confidence is high is because their coach has pushed these guys and coached them and coached them actually really hard. And they feel like they're prepared. The Bears, they're going to have to run the ball 30 times. And if they run the ball 30 times, and I do believe that Ben Johnson will have a special set of plays to run at Micah Parsons, to really test him and see what he can do. But you start looking at DeAndre Swift, the way he's played, Kyle Monangai, he's a 7th round pick and he's come in, he's been productive. I'm telling you, Ben Johnson's going to run the football. He said it last week when he beat the Philadelphia Eagles. He's praised this offensive line, talked about how great they were, and he's going to continue because he's a tough guy, Coach. That's what he's going to do.
He is a tough guy. And you know what? I love what he's done with his coaching staff, too, because he's brought tough guys with him.
Yes.
Antoine Randall L. coaches those wide receivers physically, toughness. Eric Bieniemy, running backs. Hey, we're going to run north and south. We're going to be tough. Defensive side of the ball, Al Harris in the secondary. Matt Giordano coaches the safeties. Both those guys played for me. They're tough guys, and that's the way they play. We're going to take the ball away. We're going to hustle. We're going to fight, and nobody's going to out-hit us. And that's what I see from the Bears, that mentality, and that's why they're winning these close games in the fourth quarter.
And you look on the defensive side of the ball and what they've done. Coach mentioned the turnovers they create, but a guy that's a veteran player, older player, Kevin Byard is playing outstanding. You tell me a free safety that's playing better than Kevin Byard. He's got like 5 picks. He's been outstanding, being a leader in that locker room and just controlling that secondary in the back end, but creating those type of turnovers and being that stalwart for that team has been huge for him.
Yep. So both these teams are hot. Green Bay, they've now won 3 in a row coming into this game. They beat Detroit on Thanksgiving. Detroit, a team that, we can get into, but it's been a little different for them here of late. But they're just 1.5 game behind the Bears at this point. So that not only for the division, but at some point, could the Packers still be in play for the top seed if they're able to get this win here, Coach?
Yeah, they absolutely could, and they're playing good football, and I think that's what we have in the whole NFL. We don't have a dominant team, so someone gets hot, and we've talked about Chicago. They're winning these games by 3 points. They're winning on the last drive. They're winning with a takeaway at the end of the game. They believe they're going to do it. We saw Denver last week in Washington. They believe the same way, and Green Bay's got a lot of that too. They have a lot of faith in Jordan Love. They believe in their defense. And this is going to be a hard-fought, low-scoring, one-score game. Somebody's going to have to make a play in the fourth quarter to win it.
A little context, Jack, too, is Coach, he believed the Green Bay Packers are going to win the division, and I believe the Chicago Bears. So they got 2 games they have to play, and this is going to be the tail of the division right here, Coach.
Yeah, I think so. And Green Bay playing this one at home, I think they've got a little bit of an edge here, but it's going to be tight, and it's going to be physical.
In a head-to-head matchup, who does this benefit? In a head-to-head matchup, and I know they played other teams and they played well, but the Bears against the Packers, is there one of these teams you feel like has an advantage head-to-head? Coach, I'll start with you.
Well, I think the Bears' formula for winning is taking the ball away and putting their offense in position. And I think Green Bay is going to take care of the ball, not turn it over, and that's why I think they're going to win a close game.
See, Coach, I got to disagree with you on that because I don't think the Packers are disciplined enough to run the football. I think they're going to drop back and let Jordan Love cook and throw the ball all over the field. And if you do that against this Chicago Bears defense with the pass rushers they have, with the speed at linebacker they have, and the guys in the secondary, it's going to be a long day. So there has to be some level of balance with Wilson and Josh Jacobs running the football, just keeping that Bears defense honest.
It's going to be a fun game. I mean, it's one of many. Let's get to another one. Cincinnati at Buffalo. Back to the AFC we go. This is a little different, though. This is 4-8 against 8-4. So Buffalo, they have 8 wins. New England, they have 11 wins in the East. And remember, we saw Sunday Night Football when New England went in there to Buffalo and beat those Bills. New England's won 10 straight. So Buffalo is really in this point right now, they're competing for that wild card spot. Fair to say. So they're going to need all these wins to keep ahead of the pack. And the Bengals are fighting for their life on a week-to-week basis. But they just, if it's Buffalo, then it's Baltimore, then it's 3 lighter games for them. The Bengals been good against Buffalo. Do you think they can get this win? How do you see this matchup here, Rod?
This is a scary game for Buffalo because, you get Joe Burrow back, he can throw the ball all over the field for 300-400 yards. But I wonder if they're smart enough to run the ball, just run the ball downhill straight at Buffalo. They haven't been able to stop anybody. When you turn on the tape, that's the one thing that stands out. It's how Buffalo cannot stop the run. And to me, I'll let Joe Burrow throw the ball 30 times, but I want to run the ball 25 times to test that defense, Coach.
Well, I think I look at the other side of the coin. How will Buffalo play? We talk about the Bengals being 4-8, Jack, but they're not a 4-8 team with Joe Burrow. When Joe Burrow plays, they're a winning football team.
Yes, sir.
Is Buffalo going to say, you know what, we can just play our game. We can do just what we did to Pittsburgh. We can pound it at this weak, Cincinnati defense. Or are they going to say, oh, they've got Joe Burrow back. I'm going to need 40 points. I better turn Josh Allen loose, and we better throw 50 times. And Josh Allen says, I can't afford to punt, so I'm going to try to make the Superman plays. No, who's going to play their game? And if Buffalo plays their game, I think they'll win it because I don't think Cincinnati has the defense to handle James Cook. But I don't know how Buffalo's going to play.
Are you saying basically avoid a shootout if you can, just play your own game? Is that basically what you're saying, Coach?
Play your game and do what you should do and just know that, hey, we can run the ball. We can control the clock. We don't have to score 40 points.
I just say this. Remember, too, last week, the Bengals defense, we talk about them like they're just terrible, but they did hold Baltimore to 14 points. They did do a heck of a job. You know what I'm saying? So with Joe Burrow being back, I know if I'm a defensive player, either if I'm a young player or an older player, I'm excited. I got my starting quarterback, and this is a quarterback that has given the Buffalo Bills and Sean McDermott's defense the business. So I have a lot of faith in the Cincinnati Bengals going up in there and knocking them off.
Yeah, it's 2 games. There's been 2 full games that they've gotten them. Talking Cincinnati versus Buffalo. This is in the Burrow era. But there was also the other game, which was the Monday night game where Damar Hamlin, that awful incident. But that was another game where they jumped out quickly. So they've definitely had a formula against this defense. And I know Burrow. I know Zach Taylor. I know what they're going to be saying. We got to win this game, and we got to beat Baltimore one more time, who we just proved we could beat on their field, and we get them on ours.
Yeah.
Then it would be at Miami, Arizona at home, Cleveland at home. That would be their last 3. They're thinking this is doable. They're thinking that they're going to get into the playoffs, and it starts with this one game. We'll see if they have what it takes here, Coach.
It absolutely does. And I'm going to go one step further. Even if the Bengals happen to lose this game, I think 8-9 could still win this division because I don't think it's a great division right now. But if the Bengals win this game and get to 5-8, they're thinking we can run the table 9-8 and we'll win the division.
I'm never doubting Joe Burrow. If he's on the field, I think he always has gotten a chance to win. And Jack taught me over the years that we've been together. You taught me, Jack. Always believe in Joe Burrow. He's going to give you a chance.
And he should be getting T. Higgins back this week as well. That's all the stuff about
to be huge.
Already had that week off for Thanksgiving. Then you get the extended weekend off, and they're hoping that they get him back. So we shall see. Sunday Night Football, another one. This also over in the AFC. I mean, this is just going to be – it's going to feel like a playoff game. There's going to be some games this weekend that are going to feel like playoff games. This is going to be one of them. The Chiefs are 6-6. It is going to be defending Arrowhead. They're defending Arrowhead. They're defending this era of Chiefs football on their home field. Texans at Chiefs. First thing that pops into your mind, Rodney, with this one is what?
It's going to be cold. The weather will definitely be a factor. And you're dealing with a team like the Texans that have a great defense. Their offense is improved, but they have to go on the road. They have to play outside of that dome. And it's going to be 17 degrees. It's going to be windy, cold, and it's going to affect them. And I know C.J. Stroud played at Ohio State. A lot of those other guys didn't, and it's going to affect them. The Chiefs, this is what they do. They wake up every day to this weather. It's second nature to them. And, Coach, I believe the Chiefs will win this game. This is one game. They're going to put everything into this one game. They don't care about the stats, what happened the previous 5-6 games. They're going to put everything into this one game, and I believe they're going to come out victorious because of the weather and because they're the Chiefs.
Well, I'm not quite so sure. It is a playoff game. They've got to win it. I think we'll see everything that the Chiefs have. What I don't have confidence in is them saying, we got to play a balanced game. This is a great defense. We got to keep them off balance. We've got to run the ball. If they run Pacheco and Hunt, I think they'll win the game. Yes. But I'm not sure they will. I think they'll put it in Patrick Mahomes' hands. And that offensive line that's banged up now, they will not be able to pass block these Texans pass rushers. So that, to me, is the question. How much will Kansas City run the football?
Coach, if you can see the fact that they're not going to be able to block those pass rushes, you don't think Andy Reid can see the same thing? He just has to go back to the game plan that he had a couple weeks ago when Kareem Hunt went crazy and ran all over. Was that Indianapolis? I believe it was. Yeah.
If they use that game plan, I believe they'll win, but I'm not sure they will. I think it's going to be a tough, low-scoring game. I'm picking the Texans right now.
Woo! 3-8. Hey, Jack, 3.5 hours in 17-degree weather. I don't know if they're going to be able to handle it. I didn't see Miami Dolphins. We were there for the Miami Dolphins, and you saw them guys fold after the first quarter.
Difference is this team has a very, very stout defense, and defense can win in cold weather.
Amen. Amen.
They most certainly do. The Chiefs have been not the Chiefs this year at moments. The defense is, bottom of the league in a lot of key categories, third down included. They've had a lot of penalties throughout the course of this year. There's just been kind of bonehead moments that we're not used to seeing from the Chiefs. That being said, they've been better at home. And they're going to get a chance here with some of their toughest games down the stretch to be on the home field. Denver, the Chargers, the Texans. They're going to have a chance to defend Arrowhead. And I said this to Rodney. I said this to you guys both on the meeting yesterday. Andy Reid's going to be 68 years old. Travis Kelce's going to be 37 years old. Chris Jones has had an up and down year. This is an opportunity for them to keep this era alive. If they lose this game, there's going to be a lot of conversations about new players, new faces.
Absolutely.
Going in there to Kansas City. This is a massive game.
Yeah, but I don't. But even if they lose, I don't think this is a massive rebuild because you have Patrick Mahomes, because you have some pieces. Obviously they're going to continue to work on the offensive line and things like that. But I don't think they have to blow it up like most teams. Most teams have to blow it up, have to find them a quarterback. They don't have to do that. Yeah, they might get rid of Chris Jones. Travis Kelce might go into broadcasting and retire. But those guys, eventually you're going to have to replace those guys. But I like what the Chiefs have done. I think they put themselves in this position. At the end of the day, like I said earlier, it doesn't matter what happened the previous games. They're putting all their chips in right now. Andy Reid is telling those guys, forget about the stats. We're going to go all in, and we're going to win this one game. And that's what great coaches tell you.
No, that's where they are. And this is the first of 11 maybe playoff games for them. That's where they are. We've got to win to keep going. If we don't win this game, we've got 4 games left, but the season's over. Yep. So that's what you're going to see. You're going to see the best that Kansas City has. It's going to be a tight game. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter, and somebody's going to have to make a play to win it. They've been able to do it in the past. Haven't done it that well this year. We'll see what happens.
Guys, I just like to say this too. DeMeco Ryans to me kind of reminds me of a young Tony Dungy. Just the level of respect that the players have for that guy in the locker room, the way he's come in, the way he's impacted these players, the way he's pushed them in a respectful way. They really respect and admire this guy, and just reminds me of a young Tony Dungy. So, Coach, you know what? You're doing great things because a lot of guys are paying close attention to you. Keep it up.
Well, he has been amazing. They start out 0-3, then your quarterback gets hurt in concussion protocol and you've got to win these games with your backup quarterback. And he went to the defense and just said, you know what, guys, until CJ gets back, you guys have to win games for us. And they've done it. So now they've got themselves in striking distance, and it's going to be a great game.
And props to David Mills, too, who really played well as a backup quarterback coming in there and getting it done.
And the Chiefs started 0-2. So this is a game. It's a good reminder that these were the slow starters out the gate. It looked bleak for the Texans at moments of this season. And so their ability to just survive and then build wins, now get their quarterback back, survive some of the offensive line issues that they've had. I just wonder, just as a matchup, does Kansas City have the pass rush to affect CJ enough? Because that has been an issue.
No.
season.
No, they got a blitz. They got a blitz to create pressure, and that blitz
Okay.
might come on second down, might come on first, might come on third. They got to do a lot of disguising in the secondary, but they're going to have to blitz George Karlaftis. He's not getting pressure. Chris Jones, when he has one-on-one, matchups, he'll beat the guy, but for the most part, he's getting double teamed. So yeah.
Yeah, no, they don't. And how CJ handles that pressure, if he can see it, get rid of the ball, don't turn it over, they're going to be tough to deal with. The other side of it is the same way, that you're going to be in these tight games, fourth quarter, you've got to make a play. I'm going to give you a prediction. One of these teams, whoever wins this game, is going to make the playoffs, and nobody's going to want to play them in January. If the Texans win, I don't want to play them. If the Chiefs win and get in, I don't want to play them either if I'm in the AFC.
If the Texans win, Coach, I'll have a different level of respect for them, because they would have shown me a mental and emotional toughness that I didn't think they had. They're talented. Like, when you put them on turf and I look at their defense is loaded. They're talented. And even on the offensive side of the ball, you can see a lot of potential and a lot of talent. But if they can win this game and overcome the code and all that different elements, that's going to give me a different respect for the Texans. And I will believe exactly what you said. People will be scared of them. But if they lose this game, nobody's going to be scared to play the Texans.
McDuffie, he's been viewed as one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL for the last handful of years. Not a good game for him on Thanksgiving, Rod.
No.
What did you see from him against Dallas in particular, and how does that translate with Nico Collins coming
Well,
in?
not even just Dallas. This whole year, he hasn't made those big plays in the passing game. They've been catching passes on him. He's an excellent tackler. He's a phenomenal blitzer. They put him at nickel and let him blitz, and that's where he's really excelled. But he struggled, and he'll have a hard time trying to defend Nico Collins. Nico's big. He's extremely fast, and Nico's tough. You can't bully him. You can't push him around, and he's going to come all night. I think that's going to be a tough matchup for him, Coach.
I agree. I don't think they have anybody that can handle Collins. I don't think they can sit there with a four-man rush and do anything with this passing game. So the question is, who gets the advantage? Does Steve Spagnuolo have the timely blitz that Stroud is not ready for, or are they prepared and they pick them up and they have a big day? We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a little 50-50, but I think CJ is going to make enough plays to win the game by that much.
Hey, Coach, the last point I would make, I saw Steve Spagnuolo up close and personal when he destroyed us in 2007, and he went after us as a defensive coordinator. He devised a game plan that really shut down the number one offense in all of football. I've seen it firsthand. I was sitting on the sideline. So am I going to pick Steve Spagnuolo or CJ Stroud? I'm going to go with the veteran defensive coordinator with all the experience and all the Super Bowl rings, Jack.
What is it about his? I was going to ask, is it a bigger game plan wise for Andy Reid or for Spags? I mean, what is it about Spags and the way he can put together these playoff, Super Bowl, big key game plans that somehow just always seem to work, Coach? Like, what specifically is it? How does he do it?
I think the thing is, you don't know what to expect. You know blitzes are coming, but you don't know where they're coming from and how he's going to do it. You know, in the big moments it's going to come, but where is it going to come from? And he just has a way to still be creative, and that's hard to do.
Overload pressures that you probably hadn't seen, like pressures that he probably ran in week 1 or week 3. He'll go back to those where you probably didn't go back to week 1 as a team and studied those type of things. But he just has a lot of confidence in his guys. He's got a secondary. They do a really good job of being interchangeable and disguising coverage. And I just love his aggressive mindset, and especially in games like this, he's coming after it.
We have a split board pick, man. This is exciting.
Let's go.
Texans,
playoff football.
Playoff football, we're all thinking. I mean, this is a dream, week 14. I wake up every morning and I think this weekend is going to be absolutely awesome. I can't wait.
You know what Andy Reid said? You know what Andy Reid said, Jack? He said, "Go Chiefs."
I did. He said he wants to tickle your tonsils every play. Go ahead.
But I'm with you, Jack. I think the Pittsburgh-Baltimore winner is going to go to the playoffs. Yep. I think the Indy-Jacksonville winner is going to go to the playoffs. And I think that the winner of our game is going to go to the playoffs. I don't know who that's going to be, but these are big games.
Real talk.
That AFC is wide open too. It's wide open for either one of these two teams. Fellas, appreciate you so much. Cannot wait to get out there to Kansas City, Arrowhead for that playoff atmosphere. Going to be spectacular. Rod, final thought. What is it?
Dress warm, my brother. Bring your. Hey, do you need me to get you some snow pants? Because I can pick you up some.
Probably.
Right, you wear a large, so I got you.
I will be dressed warm.
Awesome, guys.
I'll see you
Appreciate
both out there.
all.
Cheers to you both. Peace.
Peace.